Hi, my name is Hayley Babb, and for my second speech, I chose Turkey. And I chose to talk about Turkish marriages. Recently, I have been married, so I chose to explore other countries and how their marriage process goes. I found that very interesting. All my information comes from www.turkishculture.org. Marriage is constantly changing within Turkey. They are allowed to marry within the family. However, if their husband does pass away, they must marry within the family, their husband's family. So if their husband does pass away, they must marry a brother-in-law, a cousin, or some other single man within the husband's family. This is just because they want to keep the inheritance in the family and pass it through within the family instead of the wife running off and getting married to somebody else. But before marriage, they have to have a courtship. This courtship is kind of like what here in the U.S. we would call dating. However, when we find our companion in the United States, we usually don't have help from our parents and the townspeople and just relatives or just friends of family in general. But in Turkey, they do. They have family, relatives, friends, and even some of just random townspeople that they may know, but both sides of the party may not know completely. So they help with this, and through this process, they will ask questions and they will kind of look into each other's past within the town to figure out if they're really truly a great match. Their engagement is sealed with a ring attached to a handkerchief, and that just is symbolizing that they are actually engaged instead of how in the United States we actually wear a ring on our left hand. They just have a ring on a handkerchief, which I found very interesting because I don't know how they know, other people know that they are engaged when they're not having a way to symbolize on their presentation of their body that they are in fact engaged. Once they reach the engagement process, the whole entire family becomes involved in the wedding process. The mother and father do plan who the guests are, who are allowed to be invited, and who the guests are. They will choose the food, which is usually Turkish food, and just food that is originated in Turkey. And if that is not the case for the bride and the groom, there's usually a little bit of a issue because that's just very traditional, and it's a very traditional wedding. And that is all that I have. It's very interesting to show and see the differences between the marriages in all cultures, and what's so normal to our country may not be normal to somebody else. So, with that being said, my name is Hayley Babb, and I really appreciate you taking your time to watch.